Hey guys, it's God Bars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 421st episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So I know N.O.R.E is someone I occasionally give a bit of a hard time, usually pertaining to his podcast, which, make no mistake, I enjoy the vast majority of the time. It's just when the hook of your show revolves around getting every guest as drunk as possible, while you yourselves are getting wasted as interviewers, is kind of a recipe for disaster at times. But I don't really want to talk about Drink Champs any further today, because this video is about giving him his flowers as an artist. And if you were one of the few frequent watchers of this channel, you may know this isn't technically the first time N.O.R.E's been on the page, because while his 1998 solo debut was his introduction as a independent rapper, his most important and easily best LP was a collaborative one, where along with his talented friend and contemporary Capone, they formed Capone and Noreaga, or CNN, and released one of the rawest and most underrated pieces of 90s boom bap, 1997's The War Report. I've already done a full-length review for that classic, so I'll leave a link for that down in the description. So be sure to check that one out after this video if you want some more background on this veteran. But one interesting thing I just noticed about this self-titled debut is how I feel like it's a pretty rare case of someone finding some widespread acclaim and success from their work in a duo, then capitalizing off that and releasing a solo project the very next year. And not only did he carve out his own sound and identity separate from CNN, but he managed to match and even outdo their sales on his own, which is pretty commendable when you think about it. I was actually pretty surprised to find out this isn't N.O.R.E's highest selling solo album, especially with the massive hits on this thing, but that honor ends up going to 1999's Melvin Flint The Hustler, which is an insanely solid list in itself, and I would even say the same goes for 2002's God's Favorite, though if anything, he's managed to increasingly put out more and more music as the decades pass, despite having more than enough money to never rap again, which just goes to show how much he cares about the genre. But back to those massive hits I was alluding to a minute ago, it still blows my mind these alone weren't enough to rocket this thing to #1 amongst all of N.O.R.E's output, because for starters we get Super Thug, one of the timeless, most futuristic and forward-thinking beats that the Neptunes ever produced, which is saying a lot considering they pretty much never created an instrumental that didn't contain those elements. Yet this one was so good, Michael Jackson famously turned down one or more of the tracks Pharrell had written and produced for him, which later ended up going to Justin Timberlake, with the main reason being cited was that MJ wanted something more like Super Thug stylistically, and regardless of how I feel about the man, there's really no way you can take away the flex that is having someone of Michael Jackson's level and status co-signing your music like that. The craziest thing is, you could make a very strong argument that Super Thug isn't even the most well-known moment here, because pretty much any hip-hop head of any age is familiar with the timeless posse cut banned from TV, and if you somehow aren't aware of this once-in-a-lifetime collaboration, for starters, your status as a true fan is revoked, because for the most part, this was like the Avengers assembling for late 90s New York boom bap MCs, and it was sort of rare to see so many big names that were competitors coming together to fight it out for best verse on one track. If you don't know about this defining moment in hip-hop culture, the all-star lineup consisted of Nature of the Firm, Cameron, Big Pun, both Jadakiss and Styles P of the Locks, and of course Noreaga himself. However, while I'm absolutely gonna share some of his bars as well, this is one of those rare instances where I kinda can't avoid doing a verse from one of the guest appearances, as the late legend Big Pun delivered one of the many standout performances of his tragically short career, outdoing everyone else despite them all having pretty solid parts of their own. And if you don't believe me, he kicks off this lyrical masterclass rapping champagne on the rocks, sporting a Fort Knox Lazarus, shark salad with carrots, pork chops, and applesauce. When connection, disrespect and watch your body cave in. Pump the shoddy gauge and hit your shorty while he potty trainin'. I ain't playing, I'm truly the worst, he'll be the first to get his whole body fully reversed. Uzi your hearse, leave you double dead. I'm a bubblehead. I never listened to nothing my mother said. Ayo, I hold brothers for ransom for money like Johnny Handsome. Been sonning rappers for so long, I think I got a grandson. My passion is money, a stash and a honey that won't ask no questions but'll blast anybody. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I want to live in. Not a cell or a prison or in hell's Armageddon, just a little ghetto where my homies control the middle and know the riddles of life where others know only a little. Well, that's obviously a bit of a tough act to follow. N.O.R.E does it in the actual track and manages to hold his own, and displays how he managed to get where he is in the industry without really having to compromise. Coming in with, "Ayo, there's two ways into the hood, one plain, the other smoking chronic like straight to the brain. Yo, let's get loose, Hennessy straight with tomato juice. Queen Stallions, buy guns from the Italians. Now y'all rappers recognize medallions. I played the best hood, OT with Tim Westwood. Used to be on Section 8, now my section is good. Thugged out brothers, we eat as much as we could. And I don't give a fuck, what? Yo, I say my shit. And I don't give a fuck, what? You can save your shit. Y'all haters like extra skin on my dick. Listen to Bob Marley, yo funny dudes like Steve Harvey, you frontin' live with a weak army. I played the nice guy too and even smoke with you, but the realness, I ain't got no love for you. That's why I'll never do a song with you, even if your baby moms fuck the crew. And promise to give us head and swallow too, I still say no, no is no. No can though, y'all brothers drinking haterade, drinking my flow, yo. Even with nearly half a dozen guest appearances being knocked out by that one posse cut, we actually have a number of other features to bring up, including artists like Carl Thomas, Mussolini and Maze, Kid Capri, Chico DeBarge, Tommy Lucas, Splitstar, Busta Rhymes, Nas, and Cool G Rap. As for the innovative and energetic production, I did mention Pharrell and Chad of the Neptunes, but they were in good company when it came to the beats on N.O.R.E, as plenty of other talented producers lent their skills, like Kurt Gowdy, Dame Grease, DJ Clue, Easy LP, J Wax Garfield, Duro, Nashim Myrick, Swizz Beats, SPK, Trackmasters, LES of Beatnuts, and Marley Marl. While they aren't the most imaginative picks, I can't lie about my overall 3 favorites, and they would definitely have to be Banned from TV, Super Thug, and Body in the Trunk. As for honorable mentions, I still want to recommend songs like I Love My Life, N.O.R.E, Head, 40 Island, The Change, The Assignment, and A Story. Thank you for watching my 421st video. Next time, we are returning to an essential New York group that hasn't been on the page in a pretty long time now. So look out for that upload, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what moments you remember the most off of this highly successful solo debut. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.